the Ammach Project.
Welcome to Poolside in Arizona at Fort Meade Hotel. So we're here with a couple of wonderful ladies who've joined us for an experience of chat along with Marie Kayali and myself. So we're here with Katie and Deborah. Thanks for joining us, ladies. So we just want to hear about your experiences and hear from when they began and where they've taken you so far. And Marie, we'd love to hear those, and perhaps we can just share some between us of our what's come out from all of those.
Great. Well, I've been having experiences most of my life, and I think it runs through my entire family. I've had three younger brothers that also tell about experiences they've had. They've seen orbs, and a couple of them have seen craft. So it's we've been busy with it.
And have your experiences been with orbs and craft, or have you had more intense experiences on a personal basis?
I've had pretty intense experiences from what I remember. Now, a lot of the people don't remember everything, but I do remember when I was about 13, I was picked up walking in the countryside home. It was like 10 miles from the nearest town. But I'm walking from a friend's house back home, and I saw an unbelievable bright light just sitting in the road. And I walked up, I was just going to walk past, and next thing I see is little grays bouncing around. Oh, right. And I guess they were scientists taking samples. And they were just so surprised to see me. And that's the next thing I remember. I was walking down the road again, and something was really dark above me, and I looked up and it just blocked out all the stars, and then it was gone. And it took me years to understand what happened.
And what about the time on that? Did you have any missing time with that?
And I didn't even check the time. I just went home, and I was in a daze. I went home and went to bed. I was just in a daze. But the years later, I have brothers telling me they see orbs here and orbs there, and the one saw a cylinder type over the lake where we lived on the farm in the country. And
so apart from the grays at that time when you were 13, have you had any other encounters with other
Oh yes,
things?
So most of them I don't remember, but I remember recently one I had where I saw lots of different craft. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know that other people in my family were involved.
Right, yes, you did say, before we were on camera that it was really a generational thing with you. I know you've said your brothers, but also other members of your family down the line.
Oh yes, yeah, I can't go into that too much, but
yeah, it's just interesting, isn't it? I think that's fascinating because I don't know whether it's the same for you, Deborah, whether you've had that experience too.
My first encounter was when I was 4 years old. I was in the daytime playing in the driveway with my tricycle, and it was a clear, sunny day in the summertime, and a ship came over and picked me up, and it was cloaked in a cloud, like steam came over the ship, and it was all like it cloaked itself in a cloud, and it put me up into the ship. And I remember seeing the steam, and I remember coming up this invisible tube and saw 3 bars of light, red, yellow, and blue. And I went up between there, and then my mother that came out running after me, trying to catch me to go,
right, so
she saw me going up into the ship, and she tried to catch me, and they took her up too. Wow. And so then they rolled me onto this table, and I remember seeing different rooms of colored different rooms. But it was more like frequency light instead of lit up. It's hard to explain because we don't have that here. And that was all I remember from then on. But then after that, we were being contacted, like me and my mother both knew when they would kind of appear every, sometimes every 6 months, and then once a year. And she would call. She goes, "You know they're here." I said, "Yes, I know they're here, Mom." And so they were kind of monitoring us, throughout our whole life.
And did that continue, you being taken as, kind of in tandem for quite a number of years?
For a number of years, and then I had other contact when I moved to Florida, and I had different races contacted me. I don't know why I got this more than anybody, because I know that. And then there was another time I was contacted by another race that when I met the one person, I knew them forever, like a long lost person I haven't seen in forever.
Okay. How did they appear to you?
Human. They were human, and it was like this person. It was like I met this person. It was at a conference, and I had a booth because I set up my music and everything that I sell. I'm activational sound healer, and I remember he was at the conference, and I'm like, I know him, but I don't remember where I ever met him, and I know this person, the only way I could describe it was like, oh my God, I haven't seen you and I miss you. I miss you.
Amazing.
Yeah, and he invited me to his mother's house that next evening for dinner, and he told me it was only 30 minutes to get there. He gave me directions. He goes, "I'll meet you there." It took me 3 hours to get there.
Oh.
They put me in a hologram. I was driving, and they were putting me in this hologram, making me think I was driving to his house, and I was going around a curve, same tree, same curve, same tree.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Then the street lights were balls of light and with no poles. And I'm driving and I'm going, okay, I just got to get there. I'm late. And I'm like, okay, these street lights have no poles, but I'm not going to pay attention to that because I'm thinking I'm late and my cell phone doesn't work, and then I'm looking to try to find directions. There's no houses. I'm out in the middle of the country. There's no place to even turn off, no roads to ask directions, or no one to ask directions. And then then I found this, it said bar, and it had open sign, and it was a big parking lot, and there was no cars in it, and there was a payphone outside. So I said, let me try the payphone. So I went over, tried the payphone didn't work. And I'm like, oh. So I said, let me see if anybody's inside. I walk inside, and the whole place was packed. Now there's no houses, no cars anywhere. I totally felt like I was in Twilight Zone. There's no cars in the parking lot, and the place is packed. And I'm like, okay. And I just said, well, I'm looking for the bridge I told him the street and the bridge, and I go, is it all that? Is it this way? I pointed to the way where it came, and everyone turned around at the same time, and they all went at the same time. And I went, okay. And then these two guys were talking, and they were talking quantum physics. The molecular structure is, and I'm like, okay, this is getting stranger by the minute, right? So then that's what I remembered, and then I had a regression with Dolores Cannon, and I was actually in a spaceship, and they were just doing like a healing. I feel they were doing a healing on me, and they were all just observing me, and that was the missing time that I was that I received. And
so did you actually get to dinner?
Yes, I did. I got there, and I asked what time it was. I left at 9:00 that evening, and he said it was a little after 12 when I got there. Yeah. Wow. And I said, I'm sorry I'm late. And he said, that's okay, you've been through a lot, have a seat. And he was involved because he was part of this team.
Okay, so it was a setup.
It was a setup.
Oh my God.
And I knew I remembered him. He said, well, found out it took many, many years to put all the pieces of the puzzle together.
It's always the way, isn't it?
It
always
is.
Has to take years.
Yes, it takes years. And but when I was there at his house, there was a couple there. And the couple, the lady asked me, we're talking, and she said, we would love for you to live on our island.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
And I said, what do you do on your island? She said, we work. And I said, well, how many people on your island? She said, 5,000. And we are inviting you to live there.
Oh, nice.
And I knew, I was kind of thinking I kind of know this is the ship they're talking about. They're calling it their island. And I said, Jim, that was his name. I said, have you been on this island? He went, I went, okay. And it's like this big mystery, you know? Well, I found out later that it was a Syrian group, and they told, and then I found out later that I am part of that Syrian group.
That's interesting too,
Yeah.
because I'm trying to think who told me now, but they said that my call, if it's called is the right word, or strong relation, is with Syria. It is the Syrian one.
Sirius,
So-
Star Sirius.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Star Syrian.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's a they call it. They said they were a Syrian council,
Wow.
and they represent the Galactic Federation of Light. And they
Wow.
said then they told me there's many councils, there's many federations, galactic federations. Like there's an Arcturus Council and there's Palladian Council, and they're all basically the same, but they're all in different districts. And it was very, very interesting to me, and they said that I was on the council, and I still don't remember everything.
So do we know what your job is on this council?
Well, I know what I do now. I've been doing it for the last 13, 14 years. Is I do activational healing music.
Oh yes.
And it brings people into higher consciousness, higher awareness, high states of activation. I just finished my latest CD is a 12 DNA activation CD. So we're using the light, color, sound frequencies to bring people into like activating their clairvoyance, their mental telepathy, their light bodies, filling their bodies with light with these frequencies that that disease cannot live in these in your body anymore because of the high frequencies of light
And
that
do-
these CDs do. You
And
know.
do you feel at this time, quite a few people seem to sense a sort of a hurry up, a need to move quickly through something, or for something to be happening, to get to somewhere. Do you feel that?
I feel that all the time. It's like I feel that the planet's moving so slow.
It feels it's getting more intense to me.
Well,
personally.
to me, they said I was kind of like came from the future back, and that but I always feel that the things are moving so slow. And I was very, very like young, at 6, 7, 8. I remember looking at the TV, going, "What is this big box? They don't need this," and how ridiculous TV was, the shows.
Yes.
And the only thing I liked, the first show I ever liked was Star Trek, and things like that, But the point is, it's like I always felt that everything moves very slowly here, and I like things to speed up. And I'm always like, with some of my missions, I call it, my projects, that I'm...
You're using music and frequency too.
frequencies and sound and chakras I work with. Like I was overnight in the Great Pyramid, and I was downloaded. I was there overnight, and then when I walked out, I was downloaded. I get messages, and it's always this big thunder male voice comes in. Not in my head, it's like right here in front of me, and it's like always right here. And this one, they said, color, light, sound. 7 is the sacred number. 7 is the sacred number. And they kept repeating that over and over to me, and I knew what they meant. They were talking about the 7 chakras, which are colors, and each one has, and they were telling me each one has an activational sound. Now this is in 1997, before sound healing was even really, really known. It was sound healing has only been popular maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, and this is 1997. So,
and do you feel that was from your I don't know whether we call them ET contacts or anyway those other
beings?
beings?
That one was from. He told me his name and his Archangel Michael.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Archangel Gabriel. And he does work with sound, and he told me that he's been working with me a lot for many years for helping with the sound activations for the planet. Archangel Gabriel, I'm sorry, not Archangel Michael, but so the angels have their own mission. They said they're here to help the people on the planet, and if you listen, you can hear them. And if you're willing to work and do the service, which I am, and that they come and help.
Well, the Atlanteans did that. The Atlanteans used sound and color to heal.
Yes.
Yeah.
My sister said she was involved with that in another life.
Yes.
Which is very interesting. I wish she'd continued on to this one, but
Yeah.
but that's some of the stuff that she did in another life. She's
Right,
And,
explained it to me.
and you're writing, Katie, aren't you, for children particularly?
Yes, with all this that's gone on in my life, I wanted to give something to help the children, so I've started a series of books called Star Friends.
And that's
nice.
for kids and for children.
All adventure and ecology, and it's nothing scary, but actually everything in those books has happened to some abductee.
Yeah, and this is to really sort of help acclimatise children who are experiencing. Is that,
Oh
is
yes,
that
yeah,
right?
it's just
Yeah.
fun for any child, but
Yes, yeah.
yes, it's to help. But when children see these things on paper and they read stories about, oh, my friend is coming, a little gray ET is coming to play with me,
Yeah.
you know, it equalizes things for them, makes it easier for them to accept.
Gets rid of the fear as well.
I get,
Yes,
yes, it's
yeah.
sort of that normalisation process.
Nice.
Well, that's the whole thing with Ammach as well. Just going back to what we're doing, why we're doing, it's to try and
Absolutely.
bring it into the general arena, and to make it, to normalise it, to get to take the demonisation off it and
Or the fear.
all this fear
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
And you're
the
doing a great
negativity
job.
step
Yeah.
by step. It's a slow process.
Very, yes.
But Marie, I think it takes a fantastic amount of courage to come forward and really tell your story. So I don't know if you ladies have seen any of Marie's interviews that we've done.
Yes, I
and
have.
any of her
They're
stories.
great.
But
They're great.
and I don't know if you've got any questions for Marie, because Marie has ongoing experiences as well to some degree.
Right.
And
Well, I know I was fascinated with the lasers that you saw that came through your window and hit you in the head, like a red.
It wasn't red, it was white actually.
Oh,
it
that
was
one
like
was white.
it was like just a pinhead, very, very small but sharp, really quick, just got me in
Just
the
the
eye.
one,
Just,
wow.
I think it was just to get my attention. So immediately I thought, what the hell is that? Went to the window and then saw this huge UFO.
Oh my
so
gosh.
it didn't hurt or anything, but it was definitely to get my attention, because I wouldn't have looked out the window. I was in bed, so it was
Wow.
definitely to get my attention. And then we had 5 hours of missing time then after that.
Oh boy.
so, sorry.
I saw something like that at night that I've mentioned to you before. The red lasers that came in a spot like that, and they were like each pencil one. But I believe there's a white one there, but I did see something like that. It was shocking.
It's scary
wake
when
up.
you see something like that just appearing from nowhere.
I felt that it was a reconnaissance type of thing, like they were either coming to check. They can read your mind when you're sleeping,
Yeah.
or read your dreams, or
They
whatever.
read your mind,
Yeah.
definitely. I know
Yeah,
that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
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 They can hear his thought.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
They can hear
I think
anything.
it's interesting too, because Marie's got the Celtic bloodline. I don't know if you have the
Native
the
American?
You have
Oh
that.
yes,
and
I've got
I don't-
Native American,
have you?
Blackfoot, and Celtic, and the Kellys.
Have you?
Nice.
Isn't that
So it's
interesting?
mixed.
Because they say there is just such a preponderance. Oh, there seems to be anyway, from generalised research, or
Especially Native American and Irish, funny enough. The
Yes.
Yeah, actually, my mother had some Irish in her, and she's Native American. Now that I think
Yeah, I was
about
just saying that
it,
yesterday,
she's
a lot of
Choctaw, and some Irish in
A
there.
lot of Native
Wow.
Americans have this Irish for some reason.
Well, they
Yes.
made it at one time.
Wow.
What was it, like in the 50s? It was a big thing with the Irish came over at that time, and then they made it with the Indians, Native Americans. Yeah.
And
Such
married.
a small little
yeah.
country. They get everywhere, don't they? The Irish. So many. Everyone's got relatives or grandparents. Some generation
Yeah.
of Irish. It's,
Yeah, wow. It's just like,
little
the
dot
three
on
of
the
us.
map,
so
little
they-
island,
it's
and
amazing.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, and again, just going back to the generational thing, I know Marie, since we've been chatting and exploring this area with you, you've found that in your chatting to your family, they've had perhaps they're telling you things that perhaps they hadn't told you before.
They're not saying
well?
anything UFO. It's more sleep paralysis is happening to a few of them.
Sort of symptoms of things.
The fear and something in the room, and they're putting it down to ghosts and demons, right? I
Yes,
did when it
yes.
happened to me first. It's just
Yes,
if you don't see
absolutely.
lights and spaceships and things, you automatically don't think
Yeah.
of beings, or you think of, if you're brought up in the Catholic or religious
Absolutely.
background, the only thing you know is either Satan, God, angels, and ghosts, basically, spirits.
Right.
So when you see, you don't, I've realised that when there's something happening with the UFO outside, things in the house do shake. Everything goes. "Ooh." So things fall off the wall.
The
so
energy.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Space beings or things doesn't occur to you. It's we're conditioned to believe that there's spirits or ghosts or something like that. So until you see it face to face, which I did, I realised this is not ghosts. This is aliens from another planet. They're
Yeah.
from another planet. They have ships.
Yes.
It's definitely from another galaxy or something. No doubts about that, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they used to come and vibrate my house at 3 o'clock in the morning.
It's
and-
always 3 o'clock in the morning. It's always 3 o'clock.
Whichever side of the pond
I
you're
would
on.
tell them I was never in fear, and I would tell them, "Come on, guys, I'm trying to sleep. I need to get some rest. I have to get." And one night at 3 o'clock in the morning, they were vibrating the house. I woke up, and I had a tree by the bedroom window, and they came so close. I heard them break off the top of the tree, and then the top of the tree trunk was this big around, and I heard it go. And I'm like, "Come on, guys, look, you just broke the tree." I said, "And I need to get some rest." And next morning, sure enough, I walked outside and the whole top of the tree was broken off.
Really?
Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah. And they were following me around. They're monitoring you. They monitor you and they want to see what you're up to. And I just moved at that time, so they were really checking in on me. Like, I moved from Florida to Sedona. And they were going, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" And and there was they put you, they implant you to keep up to find out where you are at all times. And I had to have they were driving me crazy, so I found a person that could remove the implants. So he said I had 4 implants from 4 different races, and he removed all 4 of them.
So when you found this person who could take the implants, what was their reaction to you asking for that?
It was normal to him. He knew about this. He's been doing it for years.
Okay.
Was doing it for years.
All right. And did you notice a big difference when you had those
Oh,
removed?
yeah.
What did it feel like?
Oh, when I had it removed, you mean? Oh, no.
Sorry.
No, I
okay.
didn't. Oh, I thought you meant after. No.
After you had them removed.
Okay, while I was removing them, I didn't feel a thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then after, yes, I did. They didn't bother me. The first evening after we removed them, they were looking for me, and they went through each ceiling light in my house. They know where I lived, and they went. And they went through the whole house,
just exploding
the ceiling lights and where the fans were, and they were trying to find me. And they only did that one evening, and after that it was done, and they never bothered me again after that.
So you think the implants are tracking devices? Of some
Oh,
kind?
absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
So where were they on your body?
He said they were etheric. They were newer. He goes, "These are newer ones.
Wow.
They're etheric." Now we were at the UFO conference, and I had. The man do the scanning on me.
Yes, yeah.
And I know I have older ones, and the person that took the etheric ones out, I told him about. I know I have one here. I know I want to have another here. And he said those are older ones. Those are probably not activated anymore. He told me.
Okay.
And I said, well, okay. And then I just had a test yesterday, and he said I still have 7 implants.
So quite a number.
Quite a number.
That's about the same as yours,
Wow.
Marie, that we
Did you have
found.
any of the residue on
I
your
did
body?
all just on my hands, or on my hands, all over you.
My neck,
And on your neck,
my legs,
was there-
my arms.
My goodness.
Well, and then I just had a little bit on my leg and just all over my hands, just on my hands. So
I've heard those are supposed to be monitoring our health and helping us deal with all the pollution we have to deal with on this planet.
Yes,
Some
you
of
were
them,
thinking
some of
something
them.
Yeah, I
along
think
those lines, weren't you?
good.
Marie, as well?
Some of those.
Yeah. So have all of you or any of you noticed any particular personal developmental abilities in the clairaudience?
yes, it's totally expanded. I can channel a lot easier. It's opened my awareness. I have a CD called Cosmic Dream, which I channeled in the different star systems like Palladian, Sirian, Orion, Nibiru. If I can feel Nibiru when it came last year, and people didn't even realize it, and it came behind the sun, so we didn't get affected by it. And and that's when they talked about, and if anybody heard about the 2 suns, people were saying that was Nibiru. And Nibiru, last time it came in front of the sun, and it's such a huge planet. It's as big as the sun, almost as big as the sun. It's a very magnetic planet, and it actually pulled up the tectonic plates of the Earth, and that's how Atlantis fell. It got destroyed. Was from Nibiru. And now this time it came behind the sun, so our sun protected it. protected us from any magnetic pull. But I felt it
great.
when came June 21st. It came the closest, and I felt it pulling. I felt the energy of that, but I can hear their sounds and tones, and I wrote the song, channeled
So
into
it
the
sounds
sounds.
like you're sort of open to that pretty much all the
connected.
time.
I still feel connected, even though I had the implants removed, and I do still get messages. I call it downloads.
Yeah. A lot of people call it downloads and triggers
and sometimes I don't understand the messages, but down the months. It takes a while, and then months later, and months or years later, the puzzle comes together.
Finally.
And Katie, what about you? Are you aware of?
Oh yeah, I've had. My book.
otherwise?
That's how my book got started. All of a sudden I had this driving ambition to do this book, and just came out of like nowhere. But I've had over my lifetime, I've had visions and I've had dreams, and mostly I can remember these things that have happened to me with UFOs in dreams.
Yes.
That's how But now lately
So it's
I've
really
been getting
stimulated
snapbacks. Wow.
Flashbacks,
Yes, things are getting clearer. The veils are definitely thinner.
Yes.
The veils are definitely thinning, and our frequency of the planet is getting higher. And so that's allowing us to see a lot clearer, because it thins the veils out since our frequency raises, and that's why that's the work I do with the music, to raise the people's frequencies. And like I said, when our frequencies get so high that a disease like cancer will not be able to live and survive in our bodies. And that will eventually happen,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's this lifetime, but I just know it's coming close,
It does feel something's coming close. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. Something's about to sort of give, doesn't it? It's like, okay, how is it now? Any minute now.
Right.
Soon.
So where has it all brought you up to? All your experiences. So you're writing your book and you're doing your music. Is it taking you anywhere else at the moment? Is there anything new developed from your openings, your channelings?
Well, I'm trying to make more contact. I'm trying to. I want to remember what happens to me when they take me up, and I actually asked for that. And in a dream, I saw 4 little grays standing in line and all looking at me like, we can't do it now, but maybe soon.
Yeah. So you're still having experience of being taken, are you?
Oh
Katie?
yes.
Yeah. Is that on a frequent? Sorry. Frequently or?
Not that often. Although I've had a lot of things in the last year, and I think as time goes on and things are speeding up, I think it's going to happen more often. Well, I am opening up more and asking to open up, so that's helping a lot.
And that's the key, is asking.
Yes.
Because we are in a free will zone. This is what I hear. We're in a free will zone. Even Dolores Cannon talks about that.
Yes.
That if you ask, you shall receive. It is true, because they cannot come
maybe
in.
We need to work with free will in a different way than we've thought about it. Even maybe just changing our perceptions about even that concept.
Yeah,
of free will.
if you ask to remember, they will allow you to remember. They don't want to scare us.
Yes.
And then I've been wanting to write my book for 7 years, and I didn't feel it was safe or ready or whatever. People are ready,
and
but
this would
now
be about your own ET experiences.
Yeah, my ET experiences, and I'm calling it Look Up. And the reason I'm calling it Look Up, because everybody goes, well, Thunderbeat, how come you see so many ships? I say, look up.
Yeah, have you ever looked up and
It's
they
that
say no?
simple.
Look up and I see something. They all say no. I never look.
Right, and people don't look up.
Yeah,
they walk
they
with their head down.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like that simple.
Maybe
look up,
and you'll
because
see something.
I'm always looking up. I'm just so fascinated, and I love the stars. I'm always every night I'm out there looking. So
they need to be open.
Yeah.
Open up, and realize they could be sitting right there in front of you, just camouflaged. Right there.
Right there.
Yeah. And I've seen that happen.
I've seen camouflage.
I look and I go, and I'm, deep in my brain, I'm thinking I know there's something there, and all of a sudden they're 2 little sports models, discs.
This is referring to the sort of Bob
just
Lazar,
appeared, and it was ridiculous because I'm staring at him, blinking my eyes, and I'm going, am I seeing this? And he waggles at me like this. It just blew my mind. I went, you stinker, come back here.
I've had them flash at me, you see that's cool. I'm
it's great.
Flash, and the big light will come on, and I see,
like outside?
yeah, from the window, and I look up, see something outside, and I'm like, just.
you know.
Show me something, and then I was like, no, that might be coincidence. Do it again, and it'll happen again.
Oh.
Big bright flash.
You
Oh,
know
that's
they're
cool.
picking up your thought wave. It's just
They definitely, no,
Yeah,
without a doubt,
you
they
know.
can hear
From
because I've spoken in my mind to them, and
unbelievable
Right.
distance they can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, of course they're connected anyway if you have implants, and they
Well,
deal
they
with
have the- they
it.
have the- They have the
On
ability
wavelength.
for mental telepathy, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's-
So we
it's
were
something.
mentioning before, you were Devar, about the government element and the interest that there was, which is no more, I believe. They've sort of stopped all that you were being
Well,
tailed.
they want to know what's going on too.
What's the
so.
same with Marie. Marie's had all of that. I don't know if you have, Katie. Have you noticed any?
Not so far. Well, I've had a few people following me, on online and stuff that I've
Okey-doke.
was
But not physically
suspicious
in
of,
your-
but not physically because they didn't know where I was. I've moved a lot in the last few years.
But you're not getting any of that at the moment. Is that right, Devara? That
negative, anything.
it's sort of.
Well, let's see.
Ceased?
I'm not sure. Sometimes
Okay.
I feel it and sometimes I don't. So I don't know. It's not. It doesn't seem as much.
Right.
But I think they're always
When-
checking in on me once in a while.
the humans, I mean.
Yeah, right. They're checking in.
So when it was more apparent, how did
they're
that
following me
manifest?
around the car every place I went. Post office, store.
Using all those tax
bank.
dollars, as you say, to
Yes, all our tax dollars.
Yeah.
Wasting.
yeah, indeed.
Yeah, and they would come in my house when I
find
wasn't
out?
there and things like that. So.
And it's I'm just intrigued by the same story going on
The other
to
side of
whomever
the world, the side of the
you
world.
speak in different parts of different countries as well. It's
Same
I don't
thing?
know how
Same
they
things,
Really?
Similar, very similar. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
very
absolutely, it really is, and it's great just to share with a couple of people from this side of the world. So thank you, girls. And I don't know whether there's anything you'd like to kind of finish up with.
What is the name of your book?
Oh, my Star Friends. I thought I
Oh,
meant
that's right, Star Friends. That's
it's a book
wonderful.
series. I've got 6 books now. They actually, they meet each other, meet the little gray, and then they travel and adventure, and the science ship is here behind the moon with the ETs, and that's all adventure. And eventually they go to a science fair near the Palladians
That's fun.
It's a great,
That's an adventure.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Oh, that's fun.
And do you
That's
have
fun.
a website, Katie, that they can get the books out?
It's katiekelly@hotmail.com.
Yeah.
Is that Kelly? K-E?
K-L-L-E, it's spelled. for the-
K-L-L-E.
for the E.
Are your books on Amazon or anywhere like that?
No, I wish.
can
That's
put
I
'em
have
up
to
there.
get busy.
Sure,
I have to
doing
get
Yeah, they're
busy.
busy. It's a lot of work.
and,
Yeah.
Yes,
Gotta get
yeah. I was just saying that we're launching at the conference. We're doing a conference on April the 6th in Nottingham in the UK.
Oh, wow.
And
How
I think
neat.
I might have mentioned that we have a lady coming on board who is she's got a master's in child counselling, and she's very
nice.
interested in the young development of children. And she didn't come into us through any of those doorways to do with the ET thing. But all my research seems to lead me to ET, and that is, how society is dealing with the youngsters, how they're trying to channel them, which is perhaps not the best. And she's noticing this, and she said I noticed that maybe even social services are targeting blood groups, which absolutely floored me. I was astonished to hear that.
I was afraid.
I couldn't have imagined that. So it's wonderful that somebody is that aware in that field and is putting those wider dots together to bring it right down. So we're going to put together workshops for parents and children.
Nice.
And we hope that there will
That'll be
be
wonderful.
some uptake on that and that we can feedback.
Very good.
So that's going to be quite
That's
exciting.
yeah.
No, never been done before.
Yeah.
Exciting. Yeah,
So
that'd be
that's
fantastic.
and hopefully parents will have the confidence to come forward, and we, will try and stand beside them and say to whomsoever's listening in society, listen, this is perfectly okay, and we're supporting these people standing up and saying their truth with their children and allowing the children to speak without being fearful of having them taken off them,
That's
simply
wonderful,
because they're
yeah.
reporting this, which is the case at the moment. It seems to be that anything to do with
You're in
UFOs
that case.
and children saying anything, the parents come under scrutiny and evaluation, very
Nice.
unpleasant sort of stuff.
I think that's fantastic.
So we're hoping to
future.
that will, move ahead and become something that is very impacting and important for
Yes.
people, and And hopefully that will move out to this side as well.
Yes,
When I was younger,
we desperately
I used to
need it here.
Sorry. When I was younger, I used to tell my parents this was happening. There's people coming out of the wall, and they'd say, "Oh, don't be so stupid. Just go to bed and don't be so silly." You know?
Right, they always they discard
don't
what
be so
children
stupid.
say,
Yeah.
and they don't
So
believe
I
them. Oh, it's
wasn't telling
your
people.
fake friends that you make up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not
Absolutely.
new in my family or what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I've been saying this all my life, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing, not just come out of the blue.
So,
but-
and you know, also we were thinking, of course, as we all, you know, not that I'm an experiencer, that I'm aware of, as I keep saying, but everybody was a child who's an adult experiencer, and
Exactly.
remembering their memories, whether it's as an adult or like Jim Sparks, you know, from the get-go.
Yeah.
So it would be wonderful to have that,
my.
you know, sort of supported pathway through. And can you imagine how powerful
Absolutely.
those people would become as supported children, supported adults, feeling very free and empowered to really do their mission.
Absolutely.
For the new
Without
world.
the fear.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it is exciting. It is really exciting. I have to say thank you very much, Katie, for coming along and
Thank you.
joining us, and Devara,
fun. Thank
fantastic, and Marie, thank you for being with us again at this event.
Thunderbeat.com. Everybody can sample my music
Oh, I
on
beg your pardon. What's-
Thunderbeat.com.
Thunderbeat.com. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you
yeah,
very
they
much.
can-
And
they can
I
experience
just would
it.
like to say, Miles Johnston, thank you very much for facilitating this and being so patient and
That's you.
not getting too grumpy. That the sun is doing its own thing
Son
whilst
wasn't
we're
in where he wanted
He's
it
a
to be.
perfectionist, I see.
King, can you trade it with the sea? I'm not going to talk with the sun.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to say we're wrapping up here with Katie, Devara, Marie and Joanne from Arizona, and Miles Johnston, you're a star as per usual. Thank you very much. Thanks. God bless.
The Ammach Project.
Welcome to Poolside in Arizona.
Know that other people in my family were involved.
Right, yes, you did say, you know, before we were on camera that it was really a generational thing with you. I know you said your brothers, but also other members of your family down the line.
Oh yes, yeah. I can't go into that too much, but
Yeah, it's just interesting, isn't it? I think that's fascinating because I don't know whether it's the same for you, Deborah, whether you've had that experience too.
My first encounter was when I was 4 years old. I was in the daytime playing in the driveway with my tricycle, and it was a clear, sunny day in the summertime, and a ship came over and picked me up, and it was cloaked in a cloud, like steam came over the ship, and it was all like they cloaked itself in a cloud, and it put me up into the ship. And I remember seeing the steam, and I remember coming up this invisible tube and saw 3 bars of light, red, yellow, and blue. And I went up between there, and then my mother that came out running after me, trying to catch me to go, you
Oh,
know,
right, so she
she
knew
saw
what was
me
going on.
like going up
Oh.
into the ship, and she tried to.
At Fort Meade Hotel. So we're here with a couple of wonderful ladies who've joined us for an experiencer chat along with Marie, Kayali and myself. So we're here with Katie and Deborah. Thanks for joining us, ladies. So we just want to hear about your experiences and hear from when they began and where they've taken you so far. And Marie, we'd love to hear those, and perhaps we can just share some between us of our, what's come out from all of those.
Great. Well, I've been having experiences most of my life, and I think it runs through my entire family. I've had three younger brothers that also tell about experiences they've had. They've seen orbs, and a couple of them have seen craft. So it's we've been busy with it.
And have your experiences been with orbs and craft, or have you had more intense experiences on a personal basis?
I've had pretty intense experiences from what I remember. Now, a lot of the people don't remember everything, but I do remember when I was about 13, I was picked up walking in the countryside home. It was like 10 miles from the nearest town. But I'm walking from a friend's house back home, and I saw an unbelievable bright light just sitting in the road. And I walked up. I was just going to walk past, and next thing I see is little grays bouncing around.
Oh, right.
And I guess they were scientists taking samples, and they were just so surprised to see me. And that's the next thing I remember. I was walking down the road again, and something was really dark above me, and I looked up, and it just blocked out all the stars, and then it was gone. And it took me years to understand what happened.
Okay. And what about the time on that? Did you have any missing time with that?
And I didn't even check the time. I just went home, and I was in a daze. I went home and went to bed. I was just in a daze. But the years later, I have brothers telling me they see orbs here and orbs there, and the one saw a cylinder type over the lake where we lived and the farm in the country. And
so apart from the greys at that time when you were 13, have you had any other encounters with other
Oh yes,
beings?
so most of them I don't remember, but I remember recently one I had where I saw lots of different craft. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know.
To catch me, and they took her up too.
Wow.
And so then they rolled me onto this table, and I remember seeing different rooms of colored different rooms. But it was more like frequency light instead of lit up. It's hard to explain because we don't have that here. And that was all I remember from then on. But then after that, we were being contacted. Like me and my mother both knew when they would kind of appear sometimes every 6 months, and then once a year. And she would call. She goes, "You know they're here." I said, "Yes, I know they're here, Mom." And so they were kind of monitoring us, throughout our whole life.
And did that continue? You being taken as kind of in tandem for quite a number of years?
For a number of years, and then I had other contact when I moved to Florida, and I had different races contacted me. I don't know why I got this more than anybody, because I know that. And then there was another time I was contacted by another race